Hey, Billy, you want to shut up for a second? I'm going to be on the phone here. Yeah. Yeah, no, just hold it. Just hold it with your hand. Uh-huh. Good man. All right. Hello? Hello, Mr. Peters. It's Bob calling from You Try, You Die, so let the professionals handle it repair shop. We've got a rundown on what's wrong with your vehicle here, and we got some steps that we can take from there. I'll start off by relaying the list of issues that your vehicle has unfortunately got. Does that sound good? Yes, please. I'll need my car up and running as soon as possible. You know what, Mr. Peters? I completely understand, and I know what you mean. I mean, cars today, they are the red blood cells of the veins of... Well, Mr. Peters, I regret to inform you that there are actually quite a few issues with your vehicle that we're going to have to address before you can get your car back on the road safely. No, really? Okay, well, just lay it on me. Let's hear it. Well, Mr. Peters, I'd like to begin by asking you if you've ever had your blinker fluid topped up ever since your ownership of this vehicle. Blinker fluid? I don't know. What is that? Hello? You still there? Hello? Yeah, I just, Hello? Bob? You see, the blinker fluid, it's a sort of lubricant for your blinker assembly, and it helps the electricity to flow better. It's a dual purpose fluid that also serves as a superconductor for the aforementioned electricity. The reservoir for that fluid is actually located just behind the light fixture. Can you remember the last time that a service technician mentioned any of this kind of thing to you at all, perhaps? No, I don't think anyone's ever mentioned that to me before. Mr. Peters, I'm going to need you to listen very carefully, okay? Your vehicle is 580 miles short of 70,000 miles. Your vehicle's recommendation for your blinker fluid replacement was over 5,000 miles ago. Whoever your previous mechanics were have been holding this information back from you. They want your blinkers to malfunction in a major way prematurely in order to bring you back for even bigger repairs, which will obviously cost more money. Mr. Peters, those guys are scamming you. Holy cheapers! Are you kidding me? No, Mr. Peters, I'm afraid not. There are 0 kids here. Wow, what else is wrong with the car? Well, we checked your emergency brake secondary failsafe cable, and it's been completely worn out. Wait, does that mean... Yes, Mr. Peters. That means that if your primary cable was to snap or fail before, you could have been rolling down a hill backwards with 0 chance of survival whatsoever. Absolutely none. Oh, that's terrifying. You know, I don't even want to think about that. Indeed it is, Mr. Peters. And we've also found a rather worrying issue regarding your quad clutch transmission. You did? What did you find? Of the 4 functioning clutch assemblies within your transmission, only 2 are functioning up to par at the moment. As far as the other 2 go, one's just been simply too worn down by a previous misalignment. And the other one, well, it's in 28 pieces on our shop floor from when it fell, when we tried to open up the transmission to check on your quad clutches that I mentioned before. It just simply fell on the ground, and it's like watching a Lego Death Star fall from the top shelf of a bookcase that's in the room of a bright-eyed 7-year-old boy. Not that I would know anything about that, but that's the closest thing I could think of. Wow. Well, if there's 4, Would it still work with two? Absolutely. Huh, really? Not. That is a risk we frankly cannot allow. We value the trust and safety of our customers. Nothing comes before that. If you continue driving with only a 2-clutch transmission that was originally from a quad-clutch transmission, the dangers are just, they're untold. And Mr. Peters, one last thing. It appears that your drive line is bent at an approximate angle of 0.4 degrees. Oh, well, doesn't sound too terrible. Mr. Peters, you are undoubtedly a very smart man. That is an extremely intelligent observation you have made. And you would be right. It's not the end of the world. At least it wouldn't be if the driveline joints weren't completely and utterly destroyed from uneven rotation and excessive vibration. If not looked after immediately, you could be doing 70 miles per on the freeway when your driveline suddenly, out of nowhere, without warning, becomes unattached and bounces straight up through the floor of your vehicle and into the cabin, causing unholy amounts of destruction. Are you familiar with the Highway Massacre of '07? No. What is that? Mr. Peters, 14 men, 6 women, and 3 children died that day in a massive accident on the freeway. Because somebody, with coincidentally, I'll admit, also the last name Peters, failed to address the 0.4 degree bend in his driveline. That sounds horrible. What a coincidence. Their last name was also Peters. Mr. Peters, I strongly believe that you do not want to become the next Mr. Peters to kill 14 men, 7 women, and 3 children on a highway in a massive accident because of vehicular maintenance neglect. Do you? 6, wasn't it? Pardon me? Well, you just said it was 7 women, but before you said it was 6 women that were killed. Mr. Peters, you're gonna have to forgive me. I have a terrible, terrible memory. You know, sometimes I make about 8 back and forth trips to my vehicle when I come home because I just forget everything in there sometimes. Oh, I see. You poor, poor man. You know, shame on me for assuming anything at all. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, my heart goes out to you. Thank you, Mr. Peters. I really appreciate your sympathy. It means a lot to me. Now, we can take care of all these repairs right here in our shop, and we can have it done by 5 o'clock, which means you'll have your car in 18 minutes. You'll have a perfectly running vehicle under your free reign by tonight. All we need is for you to give us the green light. What do you say, Mr. Peters? Shall we get started on those repairs and make your car the safest vehicle on the road today? Well, yes, that'd be swell. Excellent. We're just gonna calculate an invoice here for you, just a rough estimate of how much it's gonna cost. I have it right here. Okay, it says about $14,000. We can probably bump it down for you a little, Mr. Peters. You know, you seem like a really nice guy. My, oh my, that is a lot of money. It sure is. But safety and confidence on the road do come at a cost, Mr. Peters. And that cost is approximately $14,000, give or take. Okay, let's do it. My kids don't need college. Right you are, Mr. Peters. The education system sure is filled with a bunch of crooks. Now, what's your credit card number?